traiciones from the past. He corrido de Jacinto Treviño and the ballad of Gregorio Cortés.
Of spring, with you in my struggle, not the one I chose, but the only one.
The poem ends with a comma.
All Things Considered is a production of NPR News, which is solely responsible for its content. Like a story you heard on this or another NPR program? Share it with a friend at npr.org.
You know, we tend to, when we imagine community, right, instead of communities, we kind of, not stereotype, but we kind of push on this identity that can be almost monolithic into everybody, rather than seeing each person's identity, right, as making up multiple identities of the borderlands or of the valley, right? So, for example, you know, more conservative valleyite, person from the valley can have a certain identity, right, informed by certain cultural norms, cultural behavior that isn't in tune with someone else's, right, who might be more split in their expressions of identity, like a Mexican American who expresses him or herself as a Mexican American or as a Chicano, as an ambiguous inhabitant of the borderlands, right, and then at the same time there's those who don't and who are still borderland residents.
So if you look at the history of the United States, there is no homogeneous identity, right? And so that's what, in some ways, all of Latin America and all of the Americas challenges the idea of the possibility of homogeneity. It's like an ongoing struggle. It has been an ongoing struggle. So, you know, if you think of history, then you have indigenous, Native American culture. That's what it means to be American, right? You have Mexican Americans. That's what it means to be American. You have immigrants from Ireland, from Italy, from all parts of the world. That's what it means to be American. You have the settlers that might have been predominantly English or British, right? That's what it means to be American. You have a lot of German people came and settled. That's what it means to be American. So there has been, you know, a conception that there can only be one culture, one nationality for a state. But that's impossible. in the United States.
Being on the borderlands means that you, she even has this quote that you sometimes eat borscht with your tacos, right? Or something like that. You eat, you know, you're not, you can't be a purist about things. You can't be exclusionary, and you have to kind of, you know, soak everything in. You know, you're black, you're white, you're native, you're Asian, you're everything. If you really embrace having a borderlands identity, and it's not about drawing up a wall between you or the people south of you, or between you and the people north of you.
The new mestizo, right, is somebody who's able to take these different aspects of these different cultures and combine them into one. And you're right that the way that neoliberal discourse works today, viewing us as individuals only, you know, as engines of self-investment, as capital, that erases all those dimensions and they become lost to public discussion. And so they frame our behaviors and they frame our activities, but it becomes impossible to talk about them or to be critical of them or to change them. You know, that's one of the ways today that racism is being allowed to continue to exist while being erased from public discourse. You know, so yes, I think one of the things, you know, that raises, the deeper thing that raises, you know, about identity is, what aspects of these identities are we able to change about? Are we able to act on? Are we able to become conscious of? And you know, how are they impacting us?
How much important is for the Royal Valley to have a community identity?
You're right that neoliberalism sees all of us as interest maximizers. So we're rational individuals, and we all seek to make investments in ourselves. We're self-entrepreneurs, seek to make investments in ourselves that produce the greatest outcome or the greatest gain for us. And so cultural issues become lost, and the strength and the health of the community and the strength of the community becomes lost in this discourse, because we're not communal beings, we're individuals. You know, one of the things, you know, that raises, the deeper thing that raises, you know, about identity is, what aspects of these identities are we able to change about? Are we able to act on? Are we able to become conscious of? And you know, how are they impacting us?
Give somebody a hug. Amen. Viva la raza. Viva nuestra cultura. Viva América. Vivan todos los niños. Paz contigo. Like in church, you know. Oh yeah. Canta el gallo con el la gallina con el cara, 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 cara.